double your money.
Hello and thanks for joining us, 2K Sports fans, for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball. With Steve Kerr and Clark Pillow, this is Kevin Harlan. A contest between conferences, Phillips Arena, Atlanta, where the Hawks take to their home floor. The last time these two clubs came together was also in this building, with an unfortunate ending for the home team. So far, no luck against this team. They've dropped both of the games in the previous two matchups this season. And now the Golden State Warriors starters. Leads the four with Bogut at the 5 beside him. Thompson and Barnes at the 2 and the 3. And it's Curry in at the 1. And for the Hawks, Josh Smith and Al Horford, the big man. Kevin Harris is out there with Teague, and it's Korver in at the 3 spot.
Since moving to Atlanta in 1968 from St. Louis, the Hawks have been a steady presence in the postseason, Kevin. Still, that ultimate goal of an NBA title has eluded them.
Yeah, they're not going to miss too many of those. That's high percentage stuff there.
Again, the miss by Smith. On defense, the Hawks. Their last game, a win against the Lakers, looking to carry it into this one.
And not to discount defense, guys, but it was their effectiveness offensively that allowed them to finish that game out.
Yeah, spoken like a true sharpshooter. The battle at that end of the floor, which they won easily, really told the story.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Clark.
Shots good. Smith's got his first bucket in this one. With the Hawks in the playoff history, they've always seemed to be the good team that just was overpowered, it seems, Steve, in the end.
Yeah, they've never had that transcendent player. The closest guy they had to that was probably Dominique Wilkins, but he was playing in the era when Bird and Magic and Jordan were dominating the league. So it's just been one of those things for Atlanta. They just haven't been able to get over that hump. They've been good, they just haven't been great.
And we're about a minute and a half into the first quarter. That drops. Guys back and forth this first half.
Well, 5 lead changes early on, guys, as we grapple back and forth.
This could be a back and forth game all the way, guys, the way it's being played. This is fun to watch.
Thompson from long range. Good, and Curry gets the assist.
Big mistake not having more defensive pressure on him out there.
Steph Curry, of course, the son of NBA sharpshooter Del Curry. I guess great shooting runs in the family because he's got a younger brother who can really shoot too over at Duke.
An open lane right there. Pretty much saw the daylight he wanted and took advantage.
Great opportunity, and he sees it without much hesitation.
Yeah, a little too easy, if you ask me. The defense really needs to tighten things up here.
He's talking about Seth Curry, who's at Duke, and Steph Curry, who's in the NBA with Golden State, still developing as a playmaker. Boy, you're not going to see many players who can shoot the ball better than him.
Agreed, Kevin, because he has a quick release, textbook form, and he's got unlimited range.
He is always so in control, guys. Even when he's going hard to the hoop, very skilled finisher.
Thompson, a screen on Teague. Curry gets the lead. Shot misses. Smith with the defensive effort. Hawks have gone 5 of 9 from the field here in the first. Tipped away. Teague. An easy 2 points on the layup.
Well, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
Yeah, and the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
Now here's Teague after the miss from Klay Thompson. And it's slammed in by Smith.
He's a bit short for the power forward spot, but his great leaping ability more than makes up for it.
We'll go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Larry Drew.
Yes, Kevin, and he said their preparation for this game was all about defense. Going up against one of the premier offensive teams in the NBA, he said, listen, it's a challenge that we need to embrace. Nobody can do it by themselves. It's got to be a collective effort. Guys, we'll see if they can put the brakes on this high-scoring team. It's never easy.
And Doris, thank you as always. And of course, facing an offense like this, you really have to be aware at all times of the weapons they throw at you.
No question. You know, and it's one thing to plan for them. It's another thing when you actually see that this is an explosive
offensive creativity in my mind. He's shown himself to be a coach who's always got a few wrinkles in his pocket.
You know, there have been rumblings, guys, that the Warriors are looking at a return to San Francisco and maybe building a new stadium across the bay. But we'll see how that goes. That's a very difficult thing to do these days, to secure the finances necessary and the permits through the city. So we'll see what ends up happening. But either way, we know the Warriors will remain extremely popular in the Bay Area.
Use that pick to get in close. Lee's got his second bucket of the game to go. Teague with the ball. And Curry picks him up defensively. Korver dishes to Horford. Out to Smith. Over Lee. They get it back. Harris passes to Horford. And it's slammed in by Smith.
Both teams are, guys. I mean, points coming fast and furious.
I know they've been looking for a place to play in San Francisco. Got a chance to go play over where the Giants are. And they chose Clark their own spot down on year 30-32. So in 2017, they will be in San Francisco.
That's right. Coming to the Bay, it's hard enough to find parking in San Francisco, much less a spot to put a stadium in.
T gets a screen from Horford. Korver, no luck. And up the court come the Warriors on the brink. Thompson from long range. Smith with it. He's got 10. Horford kicks to Harris. 1 second left. And Smith with the stop.
Throwing it down with one hand and making it look easy.
Easy, and Bonnie just drives on making the both teams and the going here early. It's still close through the first quarter. Hawks lead by 3. 2K Sports back in a moment here at Phillips Arena in Atlanta.
Jeff Teague. That's his first personal foul.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And what do you guys think about the Hawks here in this one?
And you could see early on, guys, they were going to go inside and try to establish their offense in the paint area. That's exactly what they've done.
And I think that's exactly where they should continue to attack moving forward, Steve.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. So for the Golden State Warriors right now, the forwards Richard Jefferson and David Lee. Sheraton is out there with Klay Thompson. And it's Landry in at the center position.
Well, Kyle Korver is going to do one thing better than just about anybody in the league, and that's shoot the three-point ball. And he's got unlimited range, beautiful stroke, and you have to respect his range as a defense.
He just makes it look so easy, too, when he shoots. He'll be almost statuesque, but each and every time he fires from deep, he hits it.
And it seems like Atlanta is one of those teams, guys, that's just good enough to be in the playoffs year after year, but not really great enough to contend for a championship. And it's a tough spot to be in the NBA. But if you don't have a superstar player, which Atlanta doesn't, it's just tough to get over the hump.
Lee dishes to Jack. Jack gets a screen from Green. Lee passes to Landry. And a misplay.
Boy, that's finishing the defense there. He made a good effort on that possession defensively and then closed it out with the rebound.
Landry, you perhaps consider trying, Steve and Clark to make a move for a superstar player or get over the hump, or, how do you think it's going to play out, Clark? I'll start with you. How do you think this thing's going to go in Atlanta?
Well, Kevin, when you're trying to put the puzzle pieces together, you always have to consider making a move for an elite-level talent. But when you look at the Hawks, they've got enough good and great players that if they can keep them in Atlanta, one of those guys might blossom into that elite star and be able to take Atlanta to the next level, perhaps even to the final. Textbook offensive rebounding right there. I love that. Those putbacks are buckets any team loves to get.
This one for 3. No good. So the Hawks will take it the other way. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. That game will conclude a 3-game homestand. Korver, no luck.
Well, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Green hits the lead. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. Let's quickly bring up the 2K leaderboard for a look at the top free throw shooters among point guards. Look at Curry, the best in the NBA. You put him on the line, and it's nearly automatic. And, of course, Jeff Teague, a little bit down the ladder. And there's the 3-second call. This one on the defense. The Hawks shooting their first free throw of the night here.
Guys, their free throw shooting has slipped a bit since last year, but not really to the point where they should be overly concerned about it.
Devin Harris is checked in for Deshaun Stevenson. Then for the Warriors, Bogut comes in for Carl Landry. And it's Biedrins in for Lee. Bogut gets the bucket. Bogut's got his second basket of the night.
He can't seem to stop anybody inside.
They got to know that if they don't make life tougher in the paint, the opponent is just going to keep going there. I mean, it's not like they'll get tired of all these in-close opportunities.
And here's Korver from the arc. Gets it to go. Korver's got 5 points in the quarter.
You might not get a better look than that all game. You have to get closer to him. He's not going to bite you. Get up in it.
Bogut sends a screen for Jack. Layup off the pick. He hit his foot. And they're saying he kicked the ball. Al Horford is checked in for Atlanta. Upside Jefferson. Jack. He feeds it to Green. Jack with a screen on Harris. Green dishes to Jefferson. And it's Andres Biedrins with the foul. And it's his first foul of the game. Hawks making a switch here. Jones is checked in. Let's quickly take a look at the standings out east. The season nearly complete. Taking a look at Miami. And, of course, the Hawks. They're tied right now.
And you look at Hawks coach Larry Drew, considered a player's coach. He spent 10 seasons as a player himself at the point guard position, playing for 5 different teams. So he's been in the NBA for a long time.
Green, the pass to Biedrins. Outside for Jefferson. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Jefferson's got 5 points so far.
And early on in his career, he was known as an athletic slasher. And as his career has evolved, Jefferson has become more of a spot-up shooter. He's still a very effective player.
Yeah, you know, the Spurs groomed him into that role. He's trying to get back to attacking off the dribble a bit more. But, you know, offensively, three-pointer probably still his strong suit. And Larry Drew, a basketball lifer, Steve mentioned. Steve, you know, what are the challenges for him with this Atlanta team?
Well, they've always been a team, at least the last 5 or 6 years, that's just good enough to get to the playoffs and maybe win around, but not good enough to get over the hump. Now they're going through some changes with the trade of Joe Johnson. They've cleared up a lot of cap room, so I think the challenge is to keep them competitive while they retool and rebuild here in the next few years.
Fires for 3, and the basket by Harris. Harris has got 9. Look at the last game for the Golden State Warriors. It was a win against the Detroit Pistons.
And the story of the game, Kevin, was the outside shooting. They really lit it up from three-point range.
Well, they were giving far too many open looks from out there, Steve. I mean, they were shooting warm-up jumpers. That's what happens when you play a team that's weak on the perimeter defensively.
Josh Smith, he's checked in for the Hawks. Then for the Warriors, Barnes, he's checked in for Jefferson. Klay Thompson comes in for Green. And Steph Curry is subbed in for Jarrett Jack. 50 seconds left in the first half. Thompson, a screen on Teague. He dishes it to Barnes. Pulls up on the wing. They grab their own miss. And Biedrins kicks to Curry. Over Teague. And Horford pulls it down. Horford's got 5 rebounds tonight.
You know, as tight as this game is, you have to like their chances the way they've been rebounding.
They have a pretty good margin in that department, so they've got to continue to hit the boards hard and it'll pay off for them. Now, severe lack of awareness on his part. He had no idea he was near the out-of-bounds line.
Teague against Thompson. Lobs it up there. Jones, no luck.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
And a tight game here as well.
The Warriors, 34.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. You look at Josh Smith in this game. I mean, he has been everywhere.
It's been nothing but positive for this team. The way he's been very selective with his shot making. He's been very unselfish. I think this has been an efficient performance for him.
I agree with you, Steve. Very few questionable decisions, if any, from him, as he has always looked for the best shot every trip down the floor. I mean, I like the fact that he's judicious in his approach.
Josh Smith and Al Horford, the big men. Devin Harris is out there with Stevenson. And it's Jones in at the small forward position. That's the five to begin the second half for Larry Drew.
Kevin, let's look at where the Hawks stand in the NBA rankings right now. Third in assists, fifth in three-point field goal percentage. And they are in the top 10 in field goal percentage. This is a team that shows excellent discipline at the offensive end.
And when you look at the stats across the board, Clark, the one that jumps out at me, as you mentioned, is the assists per game. This is a team that really relies on offensive distribution, great spacing, good ball movement, and unselfishness, and that shows up in that assist total.
You know, not really a significant margin in terms of them rebounding, but enough to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, it's helping them get the lead, and if they can continue to rebound like this, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
Korver kicks to Horford. Up and in on the way. And it's an 8-point Hawks lead.
And you can see the strategy has been to take the ball inside here.
That's where you get high percentage looks and draw fouls, Steve. It's a good way to play.
He gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Well, Landry has just a big motor. He can play so hard as soon as he gets into the game that he makes a major impact on the game. He's relentless in his pursuit of offensive rebounds, and he's always going to fight you for the ball.
Yeah, you know, those offensive rebounds are always huge. You also need to be able to finish through contact if you're undersized. And Landry can do that, too. You can get a guy up and lean into him and finish the play while earning a trip to the free throw line.
Well, Josh Smith is really a heck of a player, but, you know, you look at his career numbers, and he's most effective around the rim. Converts about 70% of the time in the paint, but everything outside of the lane is more in the low 30s. So this is a guy who really needs to spend more time attacking the rim and less time launching jump shots.
They set the pick. Thompson from long range. Right side Landry. Outside Curry. Back to Landry. That's tipped. Stolen by Stevenson. And there's the feed to Harris. There's the dish to Stevenson. Takes the three. It is good. The assist from Harris. Harris has got 4 assists now tonight. And Steve, going back to Josh Smith, despite his great finishing, only about a third of his shots, come from around the rim. It's got to be a higher percentage.
Well, it's not rocket science. The numbers are pretty clear. The more he can attack the rim, the more dominant he'll be offensively.
And the Hawks making a change here. Jenkins check in. Lee's check in for Golden State. Pass to Jenkins. Smith left side. Kicks it to Horford. And Barnes comes to help. And Smith with the stop.
Put that ball up there and banged it home.
Once that's delivered.
Yeah, that was simple, direct, and effective.
Lee dishes to Landry. That's good. Landry's got 6.
Kevin, great finish on the low block. I love it.
He kicks to Korver. Back to Smith. And stolen by Barnes. And here we go. Fast break. Curry's got it. Barnes. Landry gets the bucket.
And we see him get so many points that way because the effort is there constantly on the offensive glass.
The Hawks leading by 8.
Well, you look at Mark Jackson, I think he's got a ton of potential as a head coach. He's a great point guard in this league, one of the all-time leading assist makers in NBA history, and a really good person. Has a wonderful feel for people, good communicator. He's got a chance to do really good.
And here's Korver from the arc. Warriors with the rebound.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they were lucky he missed it.
Yeah, they were very lucky defensively because there was some miscommunication there. They left him wide open.
Ivan Johnson, he's checked in for the Hawks. Teague comes in for Deshaun Stevenson. Golden State also making some changes. Andrew Bogut, he's checked in for Landry. Jefferson comes in for Barnes. And Jared Jack is subbed in for Steph Curry. Warriors trail by 10. And Steve, we talked about Mark Jackson's potential as a coach. New to the profession, but a long-time playing career as a point guard. He was a leader, certainly, and recognizes that. And how do you think he'll be, as he continues on? Think he'll be successful?
I do, Kevin. He communicates well. We talked about it, the fact that he was a broadcaster. Obviously speaks well, and it's funny. And I think that's important as a coach. He's also very demanding. He knows what he wants. Biggest thing is he has to get players. And, when he came in last year, Golden State was very thin. They didn't have much talent, but they're starting to build that talent base. And I think Mark will grow with this team.
Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Atlanta. Harris comes in for Jenkins. Dishes to Corbin. There's the triple. The offensive rebound. Johnson, the pass to Tolliver. And he slams it in one-handed.
Where did those hops come from? Flies right over the D and slams it home.
We're going to see his confidence go through the roof in plays like that.
Well, he already took his body through the roof, that's for sure.
Yeah, now we know he's got it in him, guys.
Teague can't hit. Warriors trail by 10. The kick out to Jack. Puts up a three. Good.
Jared Jack for three.
Teague with the ball. He has 5. Out to Harris. Gets it off, and he brings it.
Oh, what a big shot that goes out the court.
And a great show through 3 quarters as we enter the 4th. Who will carry the day? Hawks lead by 9. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The 4th quarter is coming up next. On the court for Golden State here in the 4th. In the middle, it's David Lee and Andrew Bogut. Jared Jack is out there with Draymond Green, and it's Jefferson in at small forward. And Jack kicks the lead. And a great assist by Jack as that one goes in. Jack's got his 4th assist in this one. Kicks it out to Jones. Fires the 3. Snatched up. Tolliver dishes to Johnson. That's good. And the Hawks lead by 11.
How did he get that to go?
Even after the whistle, I like the awareness, the alertness, and the presence of mind to finish the play.
And the Warriors making a change here. Barnes is checked in.
That's basketball 101, guys. I mean, elementary. Use the screen to free yourself and then take it straight to the rack.
Yeah, very nice set play for him.
Well, that's using your head and using your body.
Got that one up quick. And it's 13 points for Devin Harris. Jack passes to Barnes. Lee left side. Outside, Green. Rebound by the Hawks.
And that rebound pushes their margin to +5 on the board. Solid job on the rack.
Well, it's just part of what they've done here to build this big lead. It shouldn't be overlooked. Rebounding is a huge part of this game.
Jack. The bounds, and it takes possession. Al Horford. He's checked in for Ivan Johnson. Then for the Warriors, Klay Thompson, he's checked in for Green. And Steph Curry is subbed in for Jarrett Jack. Teague kicks to Horford. And Barnes comes to help. Horford no luck.
Boy, blew the easy 2 by profile. Trying to look good. That's a bad decision and poor execution.
Wow, so good. On the run, knocking down that shot. That's tough.
The Hawks leading by 11. Teague left side. Harris, he's covered by Thompson. Back to Teague. Quick move inside. Gets it to go.
That's grace over power, guys. That and roll, gets him 2 points. Impressive stuff.
Curry attacking. Gives him the lead pass. Barnes dishes to Lee. Good work defensively by Horford.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
It's up.
I like that one-handed strike right there.
That's how it's done.
Sirree.
Yeah, he's not going to miss many of those.
Thompson for 3. Rebound, Atlanta.
Unfortunately, he just has not been able to produce offensively to this point.
Lets it go from the wing. And play stops as it looks like they call him over the back here.
Well, he was boxed out, and when that happens, at some point you have to just turn and get back defensively. That time he went right over the top.
Yeah, but you go straight on the top of another player's back, that's going to be a foul call every time.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hawks. Joan Petro, he's checked in for Horford. And it's Smith in for Anthony Tolliver. T gets a screen from Harris. Jones, the pass to Smith. Petro. It's rebounded by Golden State. Barnes has got 4 rebounds in this game. Landry with a screen for Curry. And the call will be against Jeff T. That's foul number 2 for him. And the Hawks making a change here. Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over.
Harrison Barnes at 6'8", 220 pounds, comes in with good size at the small forward position. I thought it was disappointing that he didn't turn into more of a playmaker at North Carolina, more of a multi-dimensional offensive weapon, but he really became more of a jump shooter and a scorer as a Tar Heel.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sideline.
Over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Larry Drew said to his team. He said to them, the lead we've got now is nice, but I want to make it even nicer. This is when we put the hammer down. It doesn't look like he's ready to back off just yet, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Smith hits them both. Going back to Harrison Barnes, to have that kind of impact may expected for him early. He'll have to continue to round out his game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he will, Kevin, because he's got size. He's a hard worker, serious about his game, wants to be good. He can shoot it. He's got to tighten up his ball handling. If he does that, I think he's going to be fine.
That's his second personal
The
foul.
Hawks leading by 15. Teague kicks to Corbin. Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They're up by 15. There's a minute 40 left in the fourth quarter. The Warriors making a switch here. Jefferson's checked in. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
Yeah, he couldn't hang on to it. He's got to be ready for the pass, ready to catch it.
Warriors trail by 15. And Curry, here we go.
Hawks foul.
They're locked in from the charity stripe this half. Not a miss yet.
And they're going to have to continue that pace, Clark, because they're down, and anytime you're losing, you've got to take advantage of every offensive opportunity you have. Well, you look at Steph Curry, lightly recruited out of high school and ended up playing collegiately at Davidson. And of course, who could forget their amazing run in Curry's sophomore season? Davidson made it all the way to the Elite Eight, losing to the eventual national champion Kansas Jayhawks.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. The Warriors have gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
And that hurts.
Yeah, big mistake there, especially when you're trailing.
Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They lead by 13. 1:14 left in the fourth. Picked by Horford. Horford with the screen on Curry. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
And you know, Steph Curry, to his credit, has spent part of his offseason back on campus at Davidson, finishing his degree in sociology. And he stayed close to that team as well, and certainly there's still a bond between Steph Curry and the Davidson community. He had a special few years there as a student athlete, and That's a bond that I think will continue throughout his life.
And the free throw, no good.
You know, you look at Jeff Teague out of Wake Forest, guys, and he's really an athletic point guard, well put together, a young man with speed to burn. If I had to come up with a phrase for him, it would be speed merchant. He can fly.
Harris dishes to Horford. And good coming on the assist from Devin Harris.
He's showing some signs of life here in the second after having a very forgettable first half.
Curry passes to Jefferson. Offline with his three.
And Jeff Teague, slashing point guard, but he's developed his outside shot enough to keep defenses honest, and that allows him to unleash that speed and athleticism. And that one should remove all doubt about the outcome of this game. This thing's over.
Now it's just a matter of what the winning margin is going to be. You know, he didn't have too much space to get that shot off, but for him, he had enough.
16 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. That's good.
I think we can chalk this one up. The goal now is just to run some time.
Yeah, I think it's time to get the bus started now, boys.
Andrea screen on Teague. Curry gets the screen from Landry. Thompson for the triple. Off on that one. And so it's the Hawks taking care of business in this one. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night. These guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dream-like games for a coach.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Josh Smith.